Then apart from these, we have the greenhouse villages, which is targeting vegetables for the youth in particular and women. We have 3 sites that we are developing in the west and east of Accra, and 1 in Akomadan in the Ashanti region, which are under construction. The Dawinya one is actually working, where we are training, very intensive Israeli training program with students, graduates, diplomats that we train, and we have arranged with the government of Israel. We send some of them to work on the kibbutz to get experiences. The pioneers are coming back in September, and we are sending, that's 50 of them, we are sending 70, 80 of them, of the newly trained ones to Israel, and we're going to increase the numbers, and when they come, they are not going to be academics, or they are not going to be trained, they are going to be entrepreneurs. You're going to set them up with the greenhouses, with their knowledge, inputs, and so on. You have to go to Kotoka Airport on a Friday night to see what I'm talking about. Tons and tons of vegetables being offloaded from ships from Europe, France, Netherlands, and so on, to serve our industry. When we can produce far better quality vegetables here, we have everything, the water, the land, and so on. So we are focusing on these areas as an incentive to expand our vegetable industry. We are not forgetting the women in Navrongo and areas like that where traditionally they've been doing it. We're going to help them. But we are bringing a new cadre of young men and women, highly educated, trained to do the production commercially. And through that, we intend to instigate the production of vegetables for our own domestic market and for export. I mean, Kenya exports $3 billion of vegetables and cut flowers to the European market. They are so far away from the market. We are only 5.5 hours from the market, and we are importing. It's a travesty. So this government is determined that all that should stop, given the time, and we are going to do it. We are going steadily on this course, and it's going to happen. Mechanization. Ghana has one of the lowest mechanization content in their agriculture in the world. Even by West African standards, we are nowhere. For the last 7 years before we took over, there were no imports of any tractors on any large scale, organized scale. And all the mechanization centers that were there had all broken down and virtually nothing. We've restarted with Brazilian facility, in collaboration with the local government, with farmer groups and so on. As I speak to you, we are distributing tractors and machinery. I'm going to Brazil next month to talk to the government so that the last tranche of the facility can be disbursed and at least we start building up. After that, we have the facility with the Indians, a $150 million facility that's going to bring in equipment and so on. So we can restore our mechanization centers. Farmers will be able to have the services at subsidized rates so they can expand their businesses and so on. So these are the 5 areas that modules and the planting for food and jobs that we are rolling out. Professor Chairman, each of these modules are at various stages of implementation and targeted at addressing specific problems of agriculture. The food crops module, as the name implies, is designed to boost food production, mainly staples, through access to subsidized fertilizers and improved seeds. The tree crop module targets the cultivation of 6 selected crops, tree crops for development and diversification of Ghana's cash crops, which has been dominated by cocoa for so many years. Our strategy is to develop the selected tree crops to a level of cocoa. You know, cocoa is giving us $2 billion. What we are doing is to set up the capacity in the next 4 or 5 years so that each of these 6 should give us at least $2 billion each. So the 6 crops together should give us $12 billion. And assuming that we are still exporting the beans of cocoa as we've been doing all these years, that alone would expand our export earning capacity to 12 to 14 billion. And don't forget, Ghana Beyond Aid is trying to stop the raw material exports. So we're going to have to, instead of a million metric tons of beans that we export, we are going to be able to export the chocolate and cocoa products equivalent of 1 million metric tons of beans. And that would increase our export earnings by at least 5 times. So if we were to do that, instead of getting 2 billion for cocoa, we'll be getting 10 billion from cocoa. And that is the scale that we have been losing foreign exchange. Our demand for imports have been growing because of increased incomes, population, and all that. And the economy has not been able to expand its capacity to earn foreign exchange. This is the way to do it. It's not going to be oil, it's not going to be gold, it's not going to be bauxite. It's going to be agricultural produce. And that's the determination of this government.